It's been a Super Tuesday for Al Gore.
You ain't seen nothing yet.
And it's been a Super Tuesday for George W. Bush.
We promised a national campaign, and tonight we have a national victory.
So what now for John McCain?
We will never give up this mission, my friends.
And Bill Bradley.
Remember that the fact that we've not succeeded in winning tonight's primaries makes the cause no less just.
Tonight, ABC 2000. The fall campaign begins to take shape.
From ABC News, this is Nightline. Reporting from Washington, Ted Koppel.
Let's see, where were we just a few months ago? That's right, Al Gore was the shoo-in for the Democratic presidential nomination, and George W. Bush had the Republican nomination all locked up. There have certainly been a few significant bumps along the road, but that appears to be where we are once again tonight. The Vice President and the Governor of Texas are being sensitive about it. Gore, after all, would like to inherit the support of Bill Bradley and those who voted for him. Bush needs the help of John McCain and his supporters. But the primary season seems essentially over. Neither Bill Bradley nor John McCain is making himself available for television interviews tonight. Both men are mulling over today's results, which we will show you in a moment, and determining with their advisors what, if any, options are still open to them. But neither man received enough encouragement from the voters today to give him much hope of receiving his party's nomination this summer. The latest, and in some respects the most discouraging news of the night for McCain and Bradley, comes from California. There was never much expectation that either man would win delegates there, but even in the so-called beauty contest, we can now declare Al Gore the winner. George W. Bush came in second, McCain third, and Bradley fourth. In a couple of minutes, I'll be talking live with Governor Bush, and then a little later with Vice President Gore. But first, to New York, where my colleague Peter Jennings will give you some of the highlights of this Super Tuesday. Peter?
Thank you, Ted. As you said, the primary season is over, and when the polls closed in California, ABC News projected it on the Republican side. George Bush was indeed the winner in the California primary, and on the Democratic side, Al Gore was the winner there, and that pretty much brought this primary evening to an end. Here's a broader picture of the country this evening. It was as close as we've ever come to a national primary, 16 states in American Samoa. That's what it looks like on the Republican side. George Bush winning not only California, but New York, Ohio, Georgia, Missouri, Minnesota, Maryland, and Maine, and Mr. McCain winning Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, and Vermont. On the Democratic side, well, that's, by the way, as the delegate count gets pretty academic now because Mr. Bush is going to be the nominee, and we may get a hint a little later this evening about Mr. McCain's intentions, but the delegate vote tonight is pretty irrelevant now. So on the Democratic side, boy, it was all Gore tonight. Not only California, New York, Ohio, Massachusetts, Georgia. This is in descending order of size. Maryland, Missouri, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Maine, Vermont, and North Dakota. And Mr. Bradley saying tonight that whatever happened, the cause was still just, winning absolutely nothing. That's the delegate vote there, but as I said, it's pretty irrelevant. Al Gore is going to be the nominee of the Republican Party, and we'll have all the delegates on his side pretty much when he gets there. Has the party very much on his side, but in the meantime, Ted is going to talk to George Bush. Ted.
And Peter, we'll be back to you in just a few minutes. Senator John McCain addressed his supporters in Los Angeles just a short time ago.
Our crusade continues tonight, tomorrow, the next day, the day after that, and for as long as it takes to restore America's confidence and pride in the practice and institutions of our great democracy.
But clearly, the man of the hour is Governor George W. Bush, and he joins us live now from Austin, Texas. First of all, congratulations, Governor Bush. But when Senator John McCain is talking about the crusade continuing, that clearly seems to be, and this is an old diplomatic correspondent talking now, it clearly seems distinct from the campaign. He's not talking about the campaign continuing. You talked with him this evening. Do you have any sense of what he's going to do?
I really don't. John was gracious enough to call. I appreciate him waging a tough campaign, and I wish him all the best. He's actually brought out the best in me, Ted. This campaign has been good for my candidacy. It's been for our organization. And the great story so far that people need to focus on is the number of people that are pouring into our primaries. We've had great success at attracting people who hear my call for education reform and strengthening the military to keep the peace, and an economic platform that says we're going to continue to grow the economy by sharing some of the surplus with the taxpayers.
Tell me something. How do you convince John McCain and his supporters to come support you?
Well, I hope they do. I hope time will help heal whatever wounds there are. Campaigns are tough at times, but this has been a campaign that ultimately has depended upon good ideas and focus on what's right for America. Hopefully people who are sick and tired of Washington, D.C. and what the Clinton-Gore administration has brought to us will join this campaign.
What do you have to offer John McCain, or do you have to offer him anything at this point? I mean, essentially the nomination is yours, but you still need him for the general election. Would you consider offering him the vice presidency?
Well, I think it's way too early to talk about vice presidencies, but at some point in time, hopefully John and I can visit in person and have a good discussion. He's a good fellow. He waged a good campaign, and he gets a lot of credit for the campaign he ran.
I know you've had a busy evening. I told you before we went on the air that Al Gore, in his acceptance speech, offered what amounts to a challenge to you. He was saying, let's drop the soft money, let's drop the radio advertising, let's drop the TV spots, let's have a couple of debates, twice a week on a different subject each time. Let's attend town meetings together. I don't want you to accept all of them at the same time, but which of those would you like to pick up on?
Well, it's amazing that Vice President Gore will be talking about dropping soft money. He must have amnesia for what went on in Washington, D.C. for the past 7 years.
Well, he acknowledged, he acknowledged, Governor, that he's made some mistakes in the past, but I think he wants to reform, and he'd like you to help him.
Well, what I'd like for him to join me on then is having paycheck protection for the people who work in unions in America. I don't think people ought to be forced to give union dues to campaigns or causes with which they don't agree. One of the best campaign reforms we can have is to ban corporate soft money, ban labor union soft money, so long as the working people also have the right to deny funds to unions who are spending money on crusades and campaigns with which they may not agree.
What about the idea of dropping those nasty ads?
Well, I stand by my ads in the primary. I look forward to articulating my message. Sometimes some of us have to go around the filter to be able to put a message out on TV. Al Gore wants to debate. I look forward to debates. I'm just worried that 2 debates a week will cause America to have what's called debate fatigue.
What about the idea of some town meetings? I think he's even suggesting he's going to start the town meetings tomorrow. He'd like to have joint town meetings with you. What do you think about that idea?
Well, Ted, I haven't even earned my party's nomination yet. This is a man who is setting an agenda that sounds pretty interesting on some of the aspects, but the problem is he's not doing what he said he would do. He's been there for 7 years, and the way to make sure we have good campaign funding reform is to have an attorney general that will enforce the law and to have a president who will set the highest of high standards, and that's what I'm going to do.
All right. Are you going to take the next day off just to relax and enjoy it, or you're going right back on the campaign?
I am. Tomorrow I've got time. I've got to do my job as the governor of the state, and I'm heading out Thursday for the western states of Colorado, Utah, and Wyoming, and I'm excited about what happened tonight, but I'm also excited about leading this nation with a program of reform and renewal for America. I want to lift the spirit of this country, Ted, and America's ready for it.
Governor Bush, thank you very much, and again, congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
More election results with Peter Jennings when we come back.
This is ABC News Nightline, brought to you by Fidelity Investments.
Bonnie Blair and I don't take the same approach to investing. She looks for speed. I'm more into figures, but we do share the same new way to trade online.
Introducing Power Street by Fidelity, with information the way you want it, from real-time quotes and wireless access for those who like speed, to market analysis from Lehman Brothers for those who like figures.
Sorry, stop order.
Power Street at Fidelity.com. System availability and response time may be subject to market conditions.
Good evening, Batman.
Alfred.
I've stepped up safety in the Batmobile, sir.
Really?
Should a villain steal it, someone will track it. If your airbag goes off, an advisor will assist you. If you're stranded, satellites will help locate you.
And where have you put all these things?
Just press the OnStar button, sir.
Well done, Alfred.
My pleasure, sir.
OnStar, how can I help you, Batman? It's a world of haunting secrets, hidden cries. How could this happen so close to home? What 2020 found behind closed doors, you'll never forget. Wednesday.
No one can resist a sun-kissed orange.
Portland's biggest ever RV show is here, March 8th through 12th at the Expo Center, and it leads to almost everything you'd love to see and do. Tour the huge selection of 2000 models and quality pre-owned RVs. Enjoy the fun and music of Zeke and Luke and their Model T Dream Camper. Receive a free weekend at 1,000 Trails Resort for visiting each RV dealer display, and get a free AAA Road Atlas if you're among each day's first 100 visitors. The Portland Metro RV Show. Imagine where it might lead.
I just called the Vice President to congratulate him on his victories tonight. He won, I lost. And on one level, I agree with Vince Lombardi when he said, winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. Tomorrow, I'll consult with supporters around the country to get their thoughts and advice, and I'll make my plans known shortly.
Former Senator Bill Bradley just a short time ago to some of his supporters in New York City. Both he and Senator John McCain coming very close this evening, stopping just short of conceding these races. What was it that convinced them? Back again, my friend Peter Jennings.
Well, we'll do what we can for a couple minutes here, Ted, to give you some sense of what the voters were thinking and what they've been thinking inside the campaigns. We've been looking at the exit polls for all of the evening, and Lynn Sure has been taking a particularly close look at them. Lynn, in all the primaries and caucuses now, we've talked very extensively about the core Republican voter. Tonight, as you look at it nationally, who won the Republican vote?
Peter, the dirty little secret, of course, is that if you want the Republican nomination, you've got to win Republican voters. George Bush did it. Let's take a look at the numbers. When you look at all the primaries today, among the Republican voters, George Bush outweighing McCain by 2-1. Take a look at those numbers. John McCain just couldn't do it, only, Peter, with independent voters. That's one of the reasons Governor Bush won.
Now, one thing I have here, actually, I think will surprise some people in the country, though I don't know why, because there's so much emphasis on John McCain's military record in Vietnam. Who won the vets across the country?
Not the legitimate war hero. Again, let's take a look at the numbers. Veterans today comprise some 25% of the voting public, and George W. Bush is the guy who won them. Once again, Peter, not good news for John McCain. He couldn't get any of these groups, not even his own veterans.
Now, Ted and the governor were talking just briefly there about where go the McCain voters. And can you get a bit of a handle on that this evening?
Absolutely. Governor Bush is the nominee. Right. He will need to broaden his base in the fall to win the presidential election. Let's take a look at one interesting set of numbers. Among all McCain voters, we said, who are you going to vote for between Bush and Al Gore? 51% George W. Bush, but 35% for Vice President Al Gore, the Democrat. Peter, it's going to be a very lively fall.
Lynn, thank you very much for your exit poll analysis today. Now let's talk briefly to the campaigns. The last candidate you saw there was Bill Bradley. Let us go first to Jackie Judd, who's covered him for these many weeks. Jackie, what's the instinct in the inner circle about whether he'll drop out, if and when?
Oh, I think there's no doubt, Peter, but that he is going to drop out. Tonight was very much a concession speech. He is going to take the day tomorrow to call some of his supporters, no doubt some of the people who poured money into his campaign, to say thank you while he still has the mantle of a candidate. But on Thursday, we do expect the official exit from this campaign.
It is widely thought among political analysts that he ran a bad campaign. Have you any idea what the campaign itself thinks tonight?
Well, I think even this campaign would admit that they just did not have the experience, the sophistication, even the killer instinct that the people traveling on the Gore campaign did have. I had an interesting conversation last night with one of Bradley's top aides who also conceded that Part of the problem was the candidate himself, that Bill Bradley never established a very commanding presence on the campaign trail. He is a very private man by nature who has led a very public life. And there were many occasions on the campaign trail where you could see he just didn't like what he had to do to run in a race for the presidency.
Jackie, thanks very much. Covering the Bradley campaign. We'll continue to do so for the next couple of days. On the other side of the street, it was not a question of anything but the candidate. Linda Douglas covers the McCain campaign. We heard him, Linda, in his speech tonight say the crusade continues. What do you think he meant?
Well, I think he means exactly that, Peter, the crusade, but perhaps not the campaign. He said that he's going to take stock of his losses. He said he may meet George Bush in another campaign, but of course that means maybe he won't. He's going home to Arizona to his mountain cabin tomorrow with various advisors to talk about his options. He wants to come out and say that he's going to continue to lead a movement of people who want campaign finance reform. But as you've been pointing out all night, that doesn't really seem to be the issue that propelled people to vote for John McCain. So he's going to have to kind of work through who it is who voted for him and why and what he wants to do with all those supporters.
Thanks very much, Linda. Big question, of course, for the Bush campaign as to whether or not the McCain supporters go in that direction. And in the California exit polls, we found that a tiny percentage of people, only about 3%, thought that campaign finance reform was indeed the paramount issue, one of the ones that McCain had campaigned so fervently before. So let us go now to the Gore campaign, the victor on the Democratic side tonight, and without a doubt the party's nominee. Terry, the sense, I think, is tonight that Al Gore has all the things about the Democratic Party going for him at the moment.
He does, Peter. This is a party that is unified behind Al Gore. You saw the party coalesce over the past couple of weeks, not just behind the candidate, but behind the message, this kind of lunch bucket populism that Al Gore has pitched over the past couple of months on the economy, on education, health care, gun control. But now the job for Al Gore is to reach out to some of those McCain independents, and he made an open play for them tonight, talking about what kind of campaign should be run this fall. And as we heard earlier, inviting George Bush to drop the advertisements, drop the soft money, and debate and hold open meetings. Those are formats which flatter Al Gore's strengths.
Thanks very much, Terry Moran with the Gore campaign. And finally, we go to Dean Reynolds, who covers the Bush campaign for us. And nobody in our band, at least, I think, knows Governor Bush better than Dean Reynolds. So as you listen to him talking to Ted tonight, what set you off, if anything?
Well, actually, it was the speech here that I found very remarkable. This is, you know, his biggest night of the campaign, and it's a very good speech on paper, but the governor delivered it with all of the punch and energy of a eulogy. I don't know why he was so flat this evening. Perhaps he was trying to calm everybody down, but he certainly picked an odd night to try it. Peter?
And listening to the interview with Ted, you see the framework of the fall campaign.
Well, I think that he's not going to debate Al Gore twice a week. I mean, he's just not going to go for that. He knows he's not as adept in that forum as the vice president is. And the ads, I wouldn't look for him to drop his ads. His ads worked against John McCain, and he thinks they'll work against Al Gore.
Precisely. Thanks very much, Dean Reynolds with the Bush campaign. Now back to you, Ted Koppel in Washington. The big question, of course, what does John McCain do for his voters?
And we will find out, I suppose, sometime over the next couple of days. But when we come back, Vice President Al Gore in an interview that we recorded just a short time ago.
What could you do with an extra $4,700? Well, during Chrysler's National Minivan Savings Event, get 0.9 financing for 60 months for over $4,700 in finance savings. Only your Chrysler Plymouth dealer has this offer and this selection of minivans. So indulge yourself. Or not. Only Chrysler offers 0.9 financing for 60 months on all 2000 minivans.
See near, see far, without glasses. Discover the revolutionary AccuView bifocal contact lens, the first with pupil-intelligent design. See near, see far, the way nature intended. The AccuView bifocal contact lens. Call us for a free trial pair certificate or visit your eye care professional.
The long and the short. The long
whatever length you're into. Get into the spring sale happening now at Sears, where the entire apostrophe collection is 25 to 33% off. And that's basically the long and the short of it. All apostrophe, all on sale at Sears. The good life at a great price. Guaranteed.
First, I'm going to go to my closet and you can go to yours. And when I'm done playing, I'll call you and we can swim in Mickey's pool.
Oh, are you the cruise director?
Now, I have some plans later, so you'll be on your own. And do you mind having dinner alone tonight? After that, we can all see the show together.
On a magical Disney Cruise Line vacation, you're the director of your dreams.
Hey, heard you what I thought of it?
Call and discover uncharted magic.
Coming up, campaign coverage continues on PI.
If the candidates don't make a mockery of tonight's primary, we will.
Politically Incorrect with Bill Maher live on ABC.
My seats are a mess. Gum, markers, sticky spray. Have you seen this spray that flies through the air and adheres to anything? Some kind of goo. I don't know what it is either, but it isn't pretty. So I'm a mess on the inside. But my engine is clean because I use Chevron with Techron.
No gasoline cleans your engine better than Chevron with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
Working with kids is my calling, and I enjoy it.
Joining us now from Nashville, Vice President Al Gore. Mr. Vice President, before we begin, I'd like to give our viewers a little taste of what you told some of your supporters earlier this evening. This will be familiar to you, but let's just play it.
Like John McCain, I bring a commitment born of personal experience to the battle for campaign finance reform. I've learned from my mistakes. I know it's time to change a broken system. We need tough, uncompromising campaign finance reform. That cause is going to be pushed by our campaign. But we don't have to wait to pass that law. I will challenge the Republican nominee to join with me right now in banning so-called soft money and then going even further to eliminate all of the 30-second and 60-second radio and TV ads and instead debate twice a week, every week, as soon as the nominees of the parties are known, every week until the election.
So there you were, Mr. Vice President, talking about learning from mistakes that you've made in the past. What were those mistakes?
Pushing the limits, as both parties did in 1996. And, you know, this time around, we have seen two differing kinds of responses to what happened in 96. 3 of the 4 candidates running this evening, Ted, decided to strongly support campaign finance reform. Governor Bush does not. And instead, I think that we have to take steps to end this secretly financed special interest advertising that is really an unfair way to try to influence a campaign in the final days.
4 years ago, Mr. Vice President, you and President Clinton made the observation, which has been made many times since then, that neither one of you was prepared to declare unilateral disarmament, that precisely because the other side was still doing it, you couldn't not do it. Are you telling us now that if Governor Bush doesn't accept your offer, that it's back to the way things were for you too?
No, I'm going to make some unilateral changes. I don't accept PAC money. I have the smallest average contribution in this race. I'm going to start having these open meetings all over the country, starting tomorrow night in Michigan.
But you're not going to turn. You're not going to turn down. You're not going to turn down soft money unilaterally.
Well, the Democratic National Committee is not going to allow the Republican National Committee to completely swamp it in the races for the House and Senate and White House. Obviously, one party can't just jump off the cliff. But I stand ready right now. If the Republican nominee will agree, you're assuming it's Governor Bush. If he will agree, I'm ready to agree right now. Let's just get the soft money out of it. All he has to do is say yes.
You know what a bunch of cynics we in the media are. Why should we not conclude that this is just a gimmick? Because you're confident that the Republicans, who've made it very clear, I mean, the Republican establishment has made it very clear that it is not going to unilaterally disarm. You don't really think George Bush is going to accept this offer, do you?
Well, I don't know. However, remember this, John McCain now will control a number of delegations at a minimum at the Republican convention. I know that he feels strongly about campaign finance reform. I know that lots of Republicans do at the grassroots level. It may be that Governor Bush will not be able to force the Republican Party to put up with this special interest money. Look at what happened in New York and California and Ohio with these last-minute secretly funded, at first secret, and then they fessed up. And you know, where does that stop? If we don't outlaw that, if we don't put a stop to that, what value does the people's voice have? I mean, our democracy is sacred to us, and this has gotten to the point where the American people are demanding that we make changes. A lot of the support for Senator McCain, a lot of the support for Senator Bradley has come in response to this issue. I've talked about it throughout my campaign, and I will continue to do so, and I will elevate this issue. We need change.
I don't want to gloss over the fact that this has been an extraordinarily good day for you. Between the time several months ago when we all assumed that you were a shoo-in and a foregone conclusion, and tonight, any uneasy moments for you?
Well, you know, I went through a period of change at the end of the summer when I moved my campaign here to Tennessee and started having open meetings. And the most significant change was one that came partly in response to the stiff competition from Senator Bradley, partly in response to a complete immersion in the process of talking with voters around the country. And that change was internal. I changed my priorities and decided that running for president is a lot more important than being the best vice president I can be to the nth degree. And so I stopped thinking first of all about how to move the administration's agenda forward, how to help the Clinton-Gore team, and instead started speaking spontaneously, straight from the heart, about whatever question or challenge that arose. And that's really what you have to do as a presidential candidate. May sound obvious in retrospect, but it was a subtle but important change that led to all of the other changes, and the campaign and the whole experience became a lot more fun after that.
Has the alpha male completely emerged now?
Yeah. How much do I owe you for that?
Well, that was easy. Mr. Vice President, thank you very much. It was good of you to join us, and again, congratulations on an extraordinary day.
Thank you very much, Ted.
George Stephanopoulos and David Gergen when we come back.
Okay, so I'm not on the new golden dollar coin. That's cool with me. I've got places to go and I've got people to meet. Anyway, the new coin is perfectly all right without me. In fact, I use it everywhere. Thanks. It's so money.
Introducing the new golden dollar. It's changing the face of money.
Besides, I still look good on paper.
Please welcome today's guest, Drew Carey.
Well, today I'm going to show everyone how to install DirecTV. Great! First, you take your drill, your wrench, your stud finder. This will come in handy, just in case.
Fantastic!
And chuck it out the window. Because now, not only to get more movies and sports and stuff and digital quality picture and sound, but installation's free too. DirecTV, now with local channels. My work is done here.
This is an original chrome door handle for a 58 Corvette. Very, very rare. I get maybe one call a year for this item. So why do I stock it? So that some guy named Bert in Texas can open the door to the car of his dreams and make up for lost time.
Here we come.
My name's Joe. I sell smiles.
Come find me.
You will at superpages.com from GTE, the power behind America Online's Yellow Pages. Shop on. The tires are here at Les Schwab Tire Centers everywhere, celebrating the West's largest tire sale, the Spring Tire Sale. In passenger and performance tires, the 800 Ultra, Spectrum, Grand Am, Proxus FZ4, the all-new ZE326. For pickups and SUVs, Wild Country, Wildcats, Trailcat, the new SXT. All this and more on sale. Custom wheels, exciting new styles. Happening now at Les Schwab, the West's largest tire sale.
Keys are in it.
The Accord V6 Coupe from Honda. It's one powerful car.
There's a road you travel. It takes you over hills, across bridges, and downtown. It throws you a curve and heads straight for the horizon. All along this road, you'll find Tesoro gasoline. Wherever the road takes you today, take to the road with Tesoro. Look for our clean stations and fast, friendly service on a road near you.
And I'm joined live now by David Gergen and George Stephanopoulos, who've been our analysts throughout the campaign. Remember Lily Tomlin's great line, no matter how cynical I get, I can never keep up. George, what did you make of that interview with Al Gore?
Well, I was a little surprised. I actually think his call for debates and dropping the ads would probably be relatively effective, but I was very surprised at his final answers where he essentially said, the way I won was by putting myself before the country, before my responsibility and job. I guess he was a little tired, but it was actually quite a moment of great candor, I suppose.
David, what do you make of the offer? Is I mean, totally empty, or any chance that George Bush will have a moment of weakness and accept it?
I don't think. I thought one of the things we saw tonight was just how much George Bush had grown in his interview with you, Ted. I thought he danced very effectively when you asked the question. He danced right away from it and turned it back on Vice President Gore. But what we also saw tonight is that George Bush is about to face the toughest opponents he's ever faced in his life. Al Gore moved very aggressively tonight, and I thought it a fascinating way for the McCain vote. I mean, he was making a straight pitch talking about John McCain and how he wanted to go for campaign finance reform. Now he's going to go to these town meetings. Yes, you can look at it cynically. I think there's a lot of cynicism that's warranted, but it was a shrewd move.
Ted, not only straight for the McCain vote, but straight to the Midwest. What did Gore say? He's going to Michigan tomorrow for a town meeting. Both he and Bush know that the real battleground is going to be these states, Michigan, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Illinois. And one of the questions I came away from after watching Bush, I thought he was effective, but I wonder if he has the stamina for the kind of campaign that Vice President Gore is going to force him into.
It's clearly going to be rough. But Bill Bradley, it seems to me, came this close to saying, all right, it's all over and I'm out of it. John McCain is clearly thinking of canceling his campaign, but